you just kind of take a look what's going on.
You're not showing us the right screen, I don't think.
Yeah, we're seeing mountains.
Yeah, apologies. Okay. See, I can't even see that screen because I guess something happened to it. It's just like a bunch of lines.
There we go.
Um, well, at least you guys can see the mountains on that one. I can't see anything on that screen right now.
So the actual screen is broken?
So anytime I like turn off the PC, like it has these lines, and as long as I keep it on for like a couple of hours, the lamps heat up and it goes away. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
Mine goes to sleep, so I have to sometimes turn mine on and off.
Yeah, mine too.
Just now it got better, literally. Oh, again, I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but it just got better. Anyway, so looking at monthly profiles here. So if you guys notice here, so we had a healthy uptrend where the value area high, value area low matches, the POCs match. This level will be revisited, right? When you think about these levels here, this level here is going to be huge, 45.64. You know, the stocks just don't go on forever, but once we have a healthy pullback, and you know, I don't know if anyone listened or got any summary from JPOW tonight, he's indicating 3 cuts for this year. From didn't the market price in like 6 or 7, like
Yeah,
based on
I think they were saying 6, if I remember
so
correctly. Yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty big, I would say, variance, right? I mean, 6 versus 3, that's double. So does that mean you lose half the gains? I don't know, right? That'll be the question for us to figure out. But just know that this is a big level here. And that's from the perspective of the volumes, right? So you have this November POC followed with December POC. And we know that whole December had a super poor structure, right? They bounced it off of this 4,700, if I remember right here. And then they ran it higher. They broke this balance now in the middle of January and they popped higher. But the balances are getting a little tighter and the breakouts are getting a little weaker. So if you guys look at it like, you know, if this is our breakout that we had right here, right? I mean, this breakout here is not that, you know, it's
Yeah.
not very impulsive, I would say, right? Compared to some that we've had before, I would say this is not a very impulsive move. And then when you look at some recent sell-offs that we had, they were pretty aggressive sell-offs, right? So
Compared to last month, it's nothing.
yeah. So now what you're watching here on the bigger time frame, and the reason I started on the monthly is just kind of see what is going on. Is the auction slowing down? Auction is slowing down a little bit, but not drastically yet. And if you guys look at the setup here, where the value area high and the value area low match, look at the here between December and January. What was at one point considered extreme value area high, next month is what?
Value low.
Value low, and that's
Yeah.
a pretty, you know, it's bullish. But as it stands right now, right, you see that we are out of balance on the monthly. So if the bears want to really, you know, take control of this, right, they really need to start auctioning below, I would say 49, 58, 57 and a half. Once they take that out, then I think, you know, we can hit that kind of cumulative POC, and at the same time, January POC. This is not a spot for you to initiate any shorts, and I keep repeating this just so you guys engrave it. This is, you know, if you're taking a short here, you're closing your position here. POC means that they can go sideways for a very long time. I mean, it means it's a fair price. Do you really want to trade this? Like, this is not really tradable here, guys. So you want to
Yeah.
limit the number of trades that you're in when you're close to accumulative POCs. You know, when I say daily POCs, and it's whatever, right? I mean, it's 1 day worth of data. Doesn't mean that you can't take a trade. I take trades off of PD POCs and whatnot. But on a bigger scale, when it's something like this, you want to exit but if you're short, but you want to be smart on how you know, enter the long. You need some order flow confirmation. If you're coming back to revisit now, would I take this long? Yes. But during the day, if you're not getting that bounce, let's say you're not getting this bounce right here, and then they're dancing here, how do you know where it's going to go?
You don't.
You don't. You really don't. If the first bounce doesn't work, then something's off. The market auction, something's off. What was once fair price here, maybe it won't be next time, right? But the ultimate level that we're watching, in my opinion, is this 49.60 here. That's going to be 60 to 57 and a half, call it a range. going to be super important. And if you look at these nodes here for January, POC is sitting at the top, really awkward profile, right? It's almost like a triple distribution on the monthly. So if they lose this POC, of course, they can go back to where they just bounced here. But losing this, then you're targeting, I would say, somewhere at the bottom here, 47.90 and 47.82. So about a 10-point range between December and this one. At some point, they're going to have to come back and revisit this to kind of cool off somewhat on, buying. But let's see if once that happens. We really need the framing down to start happening. So then when you go on to the weeklies, let's put them up. So here's your weekly profiles, right? I'm just going to remove all the drawings. So here's your weekly profile, similar, right? So you're looking at 49.59, and people say I'll short this as soon as this value area high is cracked. By all means do it, but you're risking 6 points of hell if you're wrong, right? So not something I desire to do, but I'd rather short it below 50. What is this, 53ish or so, where this weekly level is. That's going to be a huge level for the market, right? So I would make sure that you guys have this marked up. I had it somehow at the wrong level, this PV POC at 53.75 or so. Just draw a nice little zone around it. I think that's going to be the pivotal moment for bears. As long as we're holding above this, I think the bears are in control. Is my sentiment going to change if we start building value below this previous week value area high and previous day value area low? Of course, yeah, but I wouldn't take this short here. And this low of 6 points, I can live it out those 6 points. But once we crack this level, then things can speed up, right? The same way they sped up here, right? When they went up and they cleaned that up, they pretty much cleaned up all the single prints, guys. And then they came back and they bounced, right? And then on Friday, I don't know if you guys saw it, but like last minutes, they were able to kind of sell off all the way from the highs, all the way, I believe, 70 or 60. They came back and, they're holding right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we come here overnight. This is not a bad long to take because this, in terms of value, right? And this is something that's on your PowerPoint. It's like the slide one that we've had. When you have a breakout like this, the key job for the bulls and buyers is to do what? What did they want?
Stop the selling.
Stop the selling.
Well,
Stop the buying.
Off the buying.
Well, we need to stop the buying, but if the price was to come back to 60, they would defend that breakout. This is their breakout level, right? This is their value area high. This is what they had previously. So if they come back here and they defend it, that means we're going to go higher, right? And if we see any weakness where they auction, and let's say we dip below this POC, know that, there's a high chance that we can be visiting this little area on the bottom very soon. I would target somewhere around here, 48.96, that we can visit that. Of course, 16, I would peel stuff off. But know that there's the auction is really, really slowing down if this happens here at the beginning of this month. Otherwise, this is the pivot for me for ES right here, this little zone. Okay. And then when you go on the daily,
I have a previous week value area low on 48.96.
Yeah, that's what I have as well.
Yep.
Shorty, when the insiders do the test, what time frame do we see it on?
When the insiders do the test, which ones?
Like when they do a test to see if they're ready to stop the distribution up top, and they're ready to go lower. Like, how do they do that test? Where do we see it on what time frame?
Well, it depends, right? I mean, considering that you're in an uptrend and you're in a massive, I would say, run. I wouldn't even call it bull run at this point. You want to make sure that, first, the reversal needs to happen with the framing down on a daily time frame. There's really no test. There's just continuation of their patterns right now. And if you see here, if there was aggressive sellers, if this period stayed up here, let's say this M period never went above the L here, that would have been fairly, bearish. That would have been about almost, 7 points of single prints. But here they minimized it. There's still some single prints, But in terms of candles, right, we're still making higher highs and higher lows, right? So, and it's not very massive, right? If you look at this candle, it's kind of like an indecisive candle. You have a small body with same volume as the previous day. What we need to do is we need to go below this level, 26.25. And at that point, that would be, framing down, meaning that we are reversing and the bears are stepping in and they're taking control of the auction on daily time frames. And then, for the weekly would be the same on the weekly time frame. But if you're talking about a test, let's say a breakout consolidation test, right? If that's what you're referring to, then you would take a look at the week, the pattern that we had. I think it was like January 19th or something like that from here. So we had consolidation all the way up until, I would say, here, right? And then if you look at this, I mean, this volume here, and then you're not really on this time frame that I'm on, call it 65 minutes. I don't see this volume breaking out with a lot more volume. And usually those are fake breakouts, right? And the Wyckoff theories, there are certain names for it, right? That's a test. And now if you lose this, right, if you get inside of this with volume, there's a really, really high chance you're going to go all the way to the bottom of this. Because this could be a bull trap, as some call it, right? But this test here is not guaranteed right now based on the volume. And none of these candles look very confirming to me on the bullish run. Maybe this one here, but that volume is not really saying much. They also had this right here, right? And then they sold off from there. So let's see if they crack this. That would be a test. That would be a failure here. There's not a lot of volume here.
Okay.
Hopefully
Thank
that
you.
answers it. Okay. And then on TPOs itself, I mean, you have the access high that I circled, right? This is right here, the access high. That means that there was other time frame sellers that came in and they were able to push the price back down. And that was a nice, I wasn't trading, but that was a pretty nice candle that they dropped it. I mean, quickly 24 points on ES. That's pretty, that's pretty big. So for tomorrow, if you're playing this on a smaller time frames and you're trying to catch some moves, any auction below 72 is almost guaranteed that it's going to go to this 58, 57 area, right? I would look to be first a bull somewhere in between in this area first. Just know that they can come up all the way up to here and cause, a little trap. Everyone's aware of this level probably, so watch this 53 to be a trap level for most players, right, in the market tomorrow. I'll definitely look for a short here if they open above and fail during the RTH session. If they lose that, then I would target that, and that's not bad, 14, 15 points on ES. Ultimate bear starts at 53. If we open above, let's say we open above this 81, and I'll tell you guys why the 81, or I'll ask you guys why 81. I would turn a little bit bullish above 81, and I would target 93 to 96. Anyone have a clue why this level? I'll help.
It's above the PD POC and the high value node.
Let me give you a clue.
Oh, it's a spike.
Exactly. So it became a spike in a J period, and J period spiked at 2 o'clock, right? But when you think about this, the G period went above, and that was a clear, right? It went up and higher, right? This is higher high. But then this one here, H period made lower highs, and I period also made lower highs. So that tells me, what about value? If this was our value before that we agreed upon, and then we said, okay, spike it at 2 p.m., and then shortly after that, at 3:30 period, you send it back inside, wouldn't this 81 play a big role?
Yeah, it's pretty major.
Yeah, it would play support.
Yep. So you would have, I would say, your bullishness, the G period being at 83, 81. This is the zone that you're watching for bulls to take out, because this was the base of this value, right? The base high, and then the range high is right there. And then you see here as well, right? You see the D period. They dipped a little bit in the E. Remember, when you have these dips, if you look at it, you don't want them to dip more than 50% of the previous one. And if you look here, right, they did not do that. So that's fairly bullish. And then they're able to run higher. And then when you zoom in a little bit, the G period went all the way down to that 58, and then you see HIJ, they all continued higher. So I would say 81 to 83. If they're able to crack that, there's a high chance you're gonna go here and target this. I don't know why is this doing it again, but yeah, I'm trying to draw here, but it's not working.
Going up to the PDH.
Yeah, it's
PD
probably
value area high.
high of the day. I would target this right here.
Excuse me.
I guess I don't understand. If J went up and spiked up, which isn't at the end of the day,
That's correct.
and it came back down and they retraced it, why is it an important spot?
It's
'Cause
an important spot because this
they
is where the
retraced-
value. It's an important spot because they didn't like the value above it being. If they liked value above it, they should have stopped.
Oh,
here.
I see. To support and go back up.
Exactly.
Got it.
So
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
if you want to be a bull, I need you to take this out because you didn't confirm to me that you want to build value higher, or at least if you broke this, then
Okay.
ideally what they should have done if they wanted this auction to stay healthy uptrend, this is where they should have held it.
Right.
They
Okay.
should
So
not
it was
have
making
gone more.
higher highs, and then it broke below the prior high, where
That's
it
correct.
should have held there to continue it up.
That's exactly
So
correct.
we
It
need
should have-
we need to go over that to continue bullish.
That's correct.
essentially.
This 81,
Okay.
83 is
I
key
understand.
level. Yep,
Got it.
Good question. If you guys have questions like this, guess what? This is your best time to ask, right? When it's
Yeah.
fresh, when you're learning. Because if you go later on and let's say you chart and you're like, fuck, why? And you can't figure it out, then it becomes you become frustrated. And you really should not have much emotions when you're trading. At least, I try not to, but hopefully it makes sense, right? When you look at this, right, when you see where the POC is being built, there was value here. And then if you zoom out a little bit more, let's see. And hopefully you guys caught while we traded live on that. Let me see.
I guess for some of us that had the basics on Trading View, they cut us out of the TPO.
Oh, they
Are
did?
Yeah, man.
I'll send them an email, see if we can get a special access for something.
That's
That'd be awesome.
and no warning, no nothing. They just all of a sudden, boom, couldn't get it.
Oh, that's so fucking greedy, man. That's fucking.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just buy premium. I don't even know what I paid, to be honest. I know now they're limiting number of people on your account because a lot of people had my access. And now whenever they log in, I get kicked out.
Hmm.
So
That sucks.
yeah. But
They got us hooked on Trading View now, though.
it's a
like
very good
that.
trading platform.
Trading
though.
View is awesome,
It is.
man. But that was just kind of chicken shit.
That's greediness, right? That's just nasty. But that's pretty much on, I would say, on ES. I would say it's fairly easy right now. You're still framing up. Everything's bullish. Don't try to time the top. We're trying to play the bounces unless we crack below these levels right here that I mentioned. This is your pivot on a higher time frame that something's off in the auction. The sentiment must have changed, right? If you're able to crack below this level, I'll delete this green line. That means something changed. Does that make sense? Right now, they're accepting a higher until we crack above this. And if we hold it, we're bullish. We crack below this, there's problems.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I know you guys are addicts.
Let me flip
There's-
over here.
Yep. So similar concept as this one, right? And I did the same analysis, right? I went on the monthly here. I changed it, right? And I don't mind doing it again. And you look here, right? The only difference between NQ and ES is what?
NQ went to new highs, or ES went to new highs, and NQ hasn't gone there yet.
That's correct. Yep. And considering that 68% of weight in S&P 500 is being carried by 7 stocks, it makes sense, right? So now what you're watching for is same concept, right? Previous month value area high sitting right here. And then you have the previous week value area low. Those two levels combined create a really, really important zone for our long term, meaning the long term bearish sentiment. Right now you see the value area highs, up there, the value area lows here. So the bulls are in a heavy, heavy control right now on the monthly time frames. The only thing here is that there's a lot of overlap, a lot more than on ES. Do you guys see December and January here? Let me switch back.
Yeah, the POCs.
Do you see the ES POC is much higher? The value area high and low shifted, right? And they're, ES is much stronger here. And then Q, the POC shifted, the value area high shifted a little bit higher. But now if you look at zoom in a little bit on these nodes, you see how massive this node is here. I mean, that's a pretty big node. If you're to lose from here, from this node, and honestly, if they can crack above tomorrow, above this high, and let's say they can't hold this purple line 21, I would target that we're gonna hit 17,383 this week. So if they go above and fail here, they're gonna hit this here. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of crap going on this week. Honestly, I haven't had time to look. I had a friend send me some earnings, but I know there's a lot going on. There's some auctions, there's our friend Bostic. So there are a lot of speakers coming in. Let's see what else is coming in.
You're talking about the January node, right?
Yeah.
Big node, yeah. Okay.
Well, we actually have Monday data. S&P final U.S. service PMI, Chicago, Goolsby's talking, IMS service, Atlanta
there's a
Fed's
lot.
talking.
Holy shit.
I think this week's gonna be, and I thought there's a lot of ERs. I'll check. Somebody had but I would expect at some point this week that we test this here. It'd be very important because this candle here, if you guys look on 4 hours, not a very convincing close to me. You made a higher high, right? And of course higher low, but it's not a very good close candle. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do tomorrow. On 65 minutes, if you guys go and change this guy to weekly, then you can do this here, go to weekly. And here's the same. And do you guys recall on the watch list when I said I wouldn't be surprised if they create an engulfing value area? You guys remember that from last Sunday? I talked about if they extend this up and they build value, they're most likely going to engulf the previous week. Well, that's exactly.
I seem to remember that.
So they engulfed the whole previous week with this value area. So what was the extreme before is kind of in the middle now, right? And the value area low is encapsulating all of it, right? What that tells you in terms of auction, does anyone have an idea? What does this tell you in terms of the auction?
They couldn't find value above or below. It's gonna break one way or the other.
Okay.
Looking.
Does it tell you about participants, anything?
Yeah, that they're not the other time frames.
That would tell you, remember, when the value area is wide, that means there's a lot more participants finding value at different levels. When the value area is tight, you don't have a lot of participation because people are just two-sided activity and they're selling it short terms. If you guys remember that PowerPoint slide with the type of days, you guys remember that?
Yeah, that would be a D shape.
And it's
So there are other time frames.
There's a lot of participants, and we talked about this, right? If you're to go to a market, right, and let's say you're shopping, you want to buy, Honey Crisp apples, right? And there's only one person selling Honey Crisp apples. I mean, how much negotiation you're going to have on that price?
Not much.
Take it or leave it.
Exactly, right? But now you go to the market and there's 50 farmers selling those apples, right? Well, it's just like that video I sent to you guys from the eggs. People are going to look at the other guy's table and he's like, man, they're selling his apples for $1.50 a pound.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is going to be like, I could do 125. Another table is going to put the price at 125. And guess what? All the buyers are going to go to his table. So it's the same thing like here. When the auction is tight, the value area is tight. That means there's not a lot of participation, right? When it's wide, that means somebody big is entering here. And as of right now, if you're to look at this just being logical in terms of value, we went below the value and we quickly reclaimed it. And now we're inside the value and broke the previous week value area high, telling me right now the other time frame buyers stepped in here, right? And they extended the price and they found value above this one. But now if you, let's say you lose this level here of 50, right? The prior week value area high, but ultimately you lose this level here. That means that somebody's saying no again. We have zero value here. And if you crack this level here, no doubt in my mind that we would visit this cumulative POC somewhere around 17 or 16.9, 17,000. So this is kind of the setup that we really want to see at least this POC crack and then turn a little bit more bearish. And then if they lose this, things get ugly quickly because there's not a whole lot of support, right? If you guys think about this massive run that we've had, let's just look at it. So the profile is really weird, right? I looked at it and I thought I was on SPX for a moment earlier. And I'm like, holy crap, where's the volume? And the volume is really concentrated on two nodes. It's here and it's the one right here at 16.9. So right now they can create a lot of traps and I think they might get some trapped bulls here. Because everybody's getting a little FOMO buying. Amazon is running. Oh, I missed the opportunity. Let me go buy. You know, they missed Amazon. Where do you think they're putting their money in right now? Probably Tesla. Right? Apple had supposedly a down day that got recovered completely. So they're buying everything up. But Tesla and a few other big boys that are left, you know, are still out there and they can push that, I believe, next. Because Meta added $250 billion on Friday to their market cap. It's a healthy market, right? So I think the cards are going to slow down. I mean, the market auction is going to slow down here just based on what I'm seeing so far. So if you're able to crack this 50, that'll be the first red light and then the POC. And then ultimately if this changes, then I would expect the market to retrace a little bit. And just make sure you have some fibs, right? If you're fibbing, you know, from the bottom here, somewhere around here, let's say to the top, know where the 50% is, and it happens to be very close to the POC. If you want to know the target, you know, for the next level, I think this retracement here will give you plenty of targets. Right, so if you go here, extensions, this will be your extensions for, you know, NQ. If we crack this all-time high here, I would target 17,949, which is not bad. That's not much higher than we are right now.
Yeah.
But we still haven't seen the breakout in NQ, just like we've seen it in ES, we haven't seen it in NQ. So let's see what they do overnight. Tomorrow's should be fairly, I would say, aggressive day tomorrow, either tomorrow or Tuesday. Depends what the news and PMI does, but I expect Monday or Tuesday to be a trend day. Okay, well, I'll trade live with you guys tomorrow. And
did you say Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Tuesday?
No, Monday or Tuesday should be a trend day.
Mm.
If we hit 84 tomorrow, like this PVPOC, by some chance, if they pull it back, then it's Tuesday. I'll have a major trend day. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it.
Thanks, Shorty.
I gotta go over the.
Shorty, how's your ankle?
I'm in a boot right now. I basically dislocated the whole thing. I have a little fracture on my, like, what is it called? Pinky toe.
How'd you do that?
I was trimming bushes in front of my house and supposedly a bunny or something dug up a hole under the flower bed. Stepped on it. I mean, I fell into it. It was well covered. I didn't even see it.
Yeah. And the kids, how the kids doing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna concrete that hole very soon to give them a payback.
How the kids feeling?
The kids, thanks for asking. Yeah, so they went to the doctor and then they're like, yeah, strep throat. And we were like, well, just make sure, like test them for other stuff. Well,
Yeah.
the oldest has a strep throat, but the youngest one had double ear infection that's caused by RSV. And then the baby also has RSV, and that one is the one that we were concerned with, just because we
Ugh.
can't control the mucus and like
Man.
pump it all out. So yeah, we pretty much have our hands full
Guys.
for past 4 days, nights. They haven't really
Yeah,
been.
that shit don't feel good neither when they pump it out of your ear.
Oh yeah, man. It's been
Painful, man.
I lost a friend in the shooting, and
Oh my
we
God,
just
bro.
got some details that he was a witness for that guy when in the court
Oh my God, bro.
5 years back, and this guy was a revenge. He came back.
What? Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That's,
So
that's
it's
terrible.
premeditated. Ugh.
That's
That's
our
just terrible, bro.
justice system.
What's terrible is, leaving behind his wife pregnant. My God, man.
Yeah, and the worst thing is like that's a family-owned business. His mom is the one, so they're inside the bakery that morning. She heard
Oh.
shots and she caught her son and watched him bleed to death in her arms.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my
man, what
God.
is this world coming to, bro?
Have no idea. It's brutal. So,
Well, I'm sorry about your loss, buddy.
well, thank you. I mean, it's just unfortunate people kill
Yeah.
each other over nothing. Honestly, I don't know how people have the guts to do that, but
Yeah, I don't either, man. It takes somebody's life, man. That's wow, and you got to live with that for the rest of your life.
dude, these people give a
I
fuck.
don't have no
That's terrible.
These people are, yeah, these are emotionless people, man.
Yeah,
But thank you guys. Appreciate the support. I really do. Thank you from
Yeah.
the bottom of my
Thank you,
heart.
Shorty, for
yes, man.
everything.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
thank you too. Good night.
Thank you
guys.
for
Good
everything.
Thanks,
Good
Shorty.
night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Take care of yourself, buddy.